Chioma had grown up in a small village where poverty clung to every corner like dust. Her family, though loving, struggled daily to make ends meet. As a child, she would often watch her mother stretch what little food they had, trying to feed their household with nothing but hope and small food. This made Chioma to promise herself that one day she would rise above it all and change the story of her life. With relentless effort, Chioma worked her way through school, picking up odd jobs to pay her fees and studying by candlelight. She refused to be limited by her circumstances. As the years passed, Chioma's hard work began to pay off. She earned a scholarship to study at the university. And from there, her journey truly began. After graduation, she moved to the bustling city of Lagos, where opportunity awaited. She started small, working in a local business while saving every bit she could. Eventually, Chioma launched her first company, a modest real estate firm that slowly grew into a major player in the market. But she didn't stop there. Soon, she expanded into two other ventures, a thriving marketing agency and a logistics company that catered to clients all over the city. Success came to Chioma like the sunrise, gradual but inevitable. As she grew in success, she never let go of her heart of gold. Chioma never forgot the struggles of her childhood and the countless hands that had lifted her along the way. So when people came to her for help, she listened. She gave generously to those in need. She paid school fees for children, helped women start their own businesses, and ensured that anyone who came to her with an honest plea never left empty-handed. People marveled at her generosity. They marveled at how she had built so much for herself, yet she gave so freely. Chioma was worshipped by many and many would give anything to have half of what she had. But, despite all her accomplishments and seemed to be perfect life, Chioma had an aching heart. She longed for true love. Over the years, she had been in different talking stages, but entered into 3 relationships, each time hoping she had found a man who could love her for who she was and not for her fortune. But each relationship brought only disappointment. Her first relationship was with Uzoma, a charming and sweet-talking man from a nearby town. Uzoma made Chioma feel special, but it wasn't long before his true intentions emerged. He constantly asked for financial help under the guise of business investments. Chioma hoped for genuine love, so she helped him at first, but she soon realized that Uzoma was only after her money. When she refused to give more, Uzoma disappeared and left her heart broken. The second man, Obina, was a well-respected lawyer from the city. Chioma thought she had finally found someone who valued her for more than her wealth. But soon, Obina began pressuring her to sign over part of her businesses to him, claiming he wanted to help her manage her growing empire. Chioma, who was wise from her past experience, saw through his deception and ended the relationship. She entered into a third relationship with Hefe, a wealthy merchant who seemed to have it all. At first, he appeared to be her equal, someone who didn't need her money. But even Hefe couldn't resist the allure of Chioma's fortune. He began suggesting business deals that would benefit him far more than her, hinting that together they could dominate the market. Chioma, once again, saw that this man, too, was driven by greed. After her third heartbreak, Chioma made peace with her life. She turned her focus back to what she loved most, helping people and building her businesses. One rainy afternoon, as Chioma hurried out of a meeting for her real estate business, she saw a woman struggling to push her car out of a flooded ditch. The rain was pouring relentlessly, and most passers-by were too busy shielding themselves from the downpour to stop and help. Chioma saw what was happening and she rushed over, rain soaking through her clothes, and joined the woman in the effort. Together, they pushed the car free from the waterlogged street. When the car was finally safe, both women stood in the rain, drenched and laughing at their misfortune. "Thank you so much," the woman gasped between breaths, introducing herself as Neka. Chioma, wiping rain from her face, smiled warmly. "Don't mention it. Let's get out of this rain, there's a cafe just around the corner." They found shelter and warmth in a nearby cafe, sipping on hot tea as they dried off. Over that simple cup of tea, Chioma and Neka discovered that they had much in common. Chioma shared her story of rising from a poor background to owning her successful businesses. Neka, on the other hand, spoke of her struggles trying to establish a catering business, facing challenges Chioma remembered all too well from her own journey. "I'm trying to grow it," Neka explained, a hopeful glint in her eyes. "But every step forward seems to come with 2 steps back." Chioma admired her tenacity. She saw in Neka the same fire she had once carried, the determination to succeed despite the odds. Chioma offered her advice and even connected her with some potential clients. It wasn't long before Chioma saw that Neka's small catering business begin to thrive, and she was proud to have been part of her success. What began as a chance meeting in the rain quickly blossomed into a deep friendship. Neka's strength, kindness, and loyalty drew Chioma in, while Neka found in Chioma not just a mentor, but a sister. They shared stories, dreams, and late-night phone calls. Their bond solidified by their shared values of hard work, generosity, and resilience. As Neka's business grew, so did their friendship. Chioma admired Neka's ability to persevere through setbacks, and Neka was in awe of Chioma's wisdom and willingness to help. Over time, Neka became more than a friend. She was a trusted confidant, someone Chioma could lean on during her most difficult moments. Likewise, Chioma became Neka's biggest supporter, always ready to lend a hand or an encouraging word. It was due to this friendship bond that Chioma picked up her phone one calm evening to talk to Neka, a call that would change both of their lives. For weeks, a thought had simmered in the back of Chioma's mind, tugging at her heartstrings in moments of quiet solitude, the idea of becoming a mother. She had never given much thought to motherhood in her younger years, consumed as she was with growing her empire, lifting others from poverty, and building a life that defied the humble beginnings from which she came. But now, with age catching up to her and the quiet of her home becoming more pronounced, she felt a new yearning, a desire to nurture a life, to share her legacy with someone of her own blood. It was a decision she had not made lightly. In fact, it had taken root in her heart over many sleepless nights, her thoughts swirling as the wind howled softly outside her window. She could picture it now. Small hands grasping hers, a child's laughter filling the halls of her home. It was a vision that both thrilled and terrified her. She dialed Neka's number with a mixture of anticipation and hesitation. If anyone could understand her inner turmoil, it was Neka, her closest confidant and sister in spirit. The phone rang twice before Neka's bright voice came through. "Chioma, I was just thinking about you. How are you, my sister?" Chioma smiled softly, but there was a heaviness she couldn't hide. "Neka, I've been thinking a lot lately. I want to talk to you about something important." Immediately, Neka's tone shifted to concern. "What is it?" "You know you can tell me anything." "I've been thinking about having a child," Chioma said, letting the words spill out. "I've built this life, everything is going well, but something feels like it's missing. I think I'm ready to be a mother." There was a moment of silence on the other end, just long enough for Chioma to feel the weight of her confession. Then Nneka's voice, soft and thoughtful, came through. Chioma, I know how much you've given to your businesses and to the people around you. Are you sure this is what you want? A child is a big step, it's life-changing. Chioma exhaled slowly. I'm sure. I've been thinking about it for a while now. But I wanted to talk to you first, because I know you'll be honest with me. Nneka didn't hesitate. Let's talk more tomorrow. I'll come over, and we'll sit down properly. This isn't something we should rush over the phone. The next morning, true to her word, Nneka arrived at Chioma's house. They sat in the sunlit living room, the morning light filtering through the large windows. As they sipped tea and began the conversation that had been on Chioma's mind for so long. So, Chioma continued, her gaze steady. I know it may seem strange after all these years, but I feel it in my heart. I want someone to share my life with, someone to carry on what I've built. I've given so much to my businesses, to this town, but now I want to give to a child the part of me. Nneka set her teacup down, her expression softening as she considered Chioma's words. I understand, Chioma, but have you thought this through? A child is no small responsibility. You've spent your life building an empire. Raising a child, especially on your own, will require all of you. Are you prepared for that? Chioma's eyes softened as she spoke, her voice thoughtful. I've spent my life nurturing businesses and helping others. Now, I want to nurture a life that is my own, to raise a child with love, wisdom, and the lessons I've learned. I know it won't be easy, but I'm ready. Chioma, Nneka sighed, you've always been strong and determined. But this is different. People will talk. They'll wonder why a woman as successful as you would choose to raise a child alone, without a man by her side. You know how the city can be. Chioma smiled softly. Let them talk, Nneka. They've always talked. They talked when I was poor, and they talked when I became rich. I've never let their words guide me before, and I won't now. This is something I want, something that will fill my heart in a way no business ever could. Nneka studied her friend for a moment, seeing the depth of her desire. She understood now that this wasn't a fleeting wish or an impulse. Chioma had always been deliberate in her choices, and this was no different. All right, Chioma, Nneka said, her tone softening. If this is truly what you want, I'll support you. But promise me one thing. Chioma tilted her head, curious. What's that? Promise me you won't lose yourself in this. You've spent your life giving to others, don't forget to take care of yourself, too. Chioma smiled, reaching out to squeeze Nneka's hand. I promise. I've learned how to balance, how to give without losing myself. This child will be a part of me, but I'll still be Chioma. In the weeks that followed, Chioma moved forward with her plan. She sought out the best doctors and considered every option carefully, determined to bring her dream of motherhood to life. Her home gradually filled with a quiet anticipation. The living room that had once echoed with business meetings and the busy hum of her philanthropy side now held the promise of something far more personal, a child's laughter, the warmth of a new life, and the love that Chioma had longed to give. With each passing day, Chioma prepared for this next chapter of her life, knowing that the road ahead would be different from any she had traveled before. But as always, she was ready to face it with courage, determined to nurture not just her businesses, but the new life that would soon enter her world, filling it with a love unlike any she had ever known. This was a decision that, if only Chioma knew, would change her life in a way she never expected.